Well, Topuria got it done. He becomes the UFC featherweight champion, improving his professional MMA record to 15 victories with no defeats by knocking out Alexander the Great Volkanovski in the second round of the main event of UFC 298. We're going to break down this fight. I have to do a frame-by-frame style of analysis, but it's not going to be every single exchange because that would take too long. But we're just going to break down the different areas of Topuria's game plan and what Volkanovski tried to do in order to counteract Topuria's game plan and retain his title, even though it didn't work out for him. So let's start it off. Volkanovski's game plan was based entirely off of his lead side, his jab, his lead inside low kick, and the lead head kick. Now, I feel like he was going to use his jab to dictate the pace anyway, because we've seen Volkanovski work behind his jab and use the chaining together of the jab feint to the inside low kick, the jab feint to the right cross to the right low kick, and the jab feint to the lead kick to the body multiple times in other fights before. Volk wanted to stay on the outside. He wanted to keep Topuria just outside of his punching range and cause him to back up, anticipating a counter moving forward into kick range so that Volkanovski could throw the lead head kick or the lead inside low kick, which could direct Topuria, who is also an orthodox fighter, into his right cross, which is his power side, or the potential right head kick. But Topuria, with the traditional boxing style that he encompasses inside of the UFC, was very light on the feet and very patient. Yes, he got hit with a few lead head kicks, he got hit with some inside low kicks and some kicks to the body coming off of that lead left side of Volkanovski. Volkanovski tried to anticipate the counters of Topuria, which would more than likely be slipping on the inside of his jab for a left hook on the inside, slipping inside of his jab for a left hook to the body, or slipping inside of the jab to come over the top with either a straight right hand or a right overhand. He tried to anticipate that by using a Philly shell or shoulder roll style of defense, or using the jab and then pulling back to step off an angle to get away from Topuria. The one thing that Volkanovski didn't want to do was get stuck up against the cage, but the patience of Topuria, along with the beautiful right low kicks that he was using to attack the lead leg of Volkanovski, not only helped to shut down the lead leg attacks from the inside low kick to the lead body kick to the lead head kick, but it also backed Volkanovski up and slowed down his movement if Topuria was eventually able to close off that distance in range and trap Volkanovski up against the fence. It was pretty much a cat and mouse game. It was Topuria being what his nickname is, a matador. The finishing sequence of the fight was the entire lead up of Topuria's game plan. He was able to slip inside, slip outside, pull and counter, and then eventually slow down Volkanovski with the low kicks and the shots to the body and the left hook when he would slip on the inside to get Volkanovski backed up to the cage. After a few shots to the body, a right hook and a left hook, I believe, I could have the sequence wrong based on the exact punches, but he was able to land a few shots to the body, a left hook on the inside, an overhand right which almost landed, but then he used his lead hand to do something very important, which is called a control. During the finishing sequence, when the first overhand right of Topuria barely missed, he was able to readjust when Volkanovski grabbed the single collar tie to try to go with an uppercut or a right hook. But during that single collar tie, Topuria used his lead hand to measure the correct range on the head of Volkanovski with the post. By measuring on the head of Volkanovski with the lead hand, it not only allows you to roll under the potential single collar clinch or pull down and slip out, but it allows you to control your target and measure the distance to the exact spot you need to be. And he was able to use this lead hand control in the midst of the exchange to get to the outside and throw that overhand right over the top with Volkanovski's chin in the air, catching him clean on the jaw and knocking him out cold. And just like that, Topuria is the new undefeated king at 145 pounds. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I see anybody beating Topuria for this title anytime soon. You have the featherweight co-main event for UFC Fight Night Mexico City, at least I believe it's in Mexico City, coming up next weekend or this upcoming weekend between Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega. No matter who wins that fight, I don't see them defeating Topuria. You have the undefeated contender in Movsar Evloev, who I also don't think can match the power and technical skills of Ilia Topuria. I don't think Max Holloway has a shot, and I honestly believe that Topuria would probably knock out Holloway. But I think we have a king on top the throne at 145 pounds that's going to remain the king for a very, very long time.